Welcome to Patriot TV. I'm your host, Janet Palumbi. I invite you to join me today as we discuss news and current events, local and worldwide, all from a faith-based perspective. Now, as you can tell, I am broadcasting today from my RV with a beautiful lake view out my window. We have been traveling this week with family in the great state of South Carolina. South Carolina was one of the original 13 colonies. Fort Sumter was first built in the wake of the War of 1812, which had highlighted the United States' lack of strong coastal defenses. Named for Revolutionary War general and South Carolina native Thomas Sumter. In honor of the upcoming celebration of our nation's birthday, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of a history lesson on the show today. Especially since I'm in the state of South Carolina, which is very hot, but also loaded with history. I want to start off the show by asking the question, why do we celebrate 4th of July, also known as Independence Day? I want to share a few thoughts from an article from History.com. Dating back to the American Revolution on July 2nd, 1776, the Continental Congress voted in favor of independence. 2 days later, on July 4th, delegates from the 13 colonies adopted the Declaration of Independence drafted by Thomas Jefferson. When the initial battles in the Revolutionary War broke out in 1775, few colonists desired complete independence from Great Britain, and those who did were considered radicals. But by the middle of 1776, hostility against Britain grew. The tradition of patriotic celebration became even more widespread after the War of 1812, in which the United States again faced Great Britain. In 1870, the U.S. Congress made July 4th a federal holiday. Now, the American flag is the symbol of American freedom and independence. Sadly, the pride flag is trying to destroy what the red, white, and blue stands for. The American Conservative recently posted an article, "America, Tear Down This Flag." The pride flag has quickly become one of America's national symbols. Once exclusive province of gay ghetto like San Francisco's Castro district, you can now find pride flags everywhere in a bewildering variety of colors and patterns. They fly from the flagpoles of our embassies, over our cabinet departments, the FBI, and even decorating the White House. I think we all remember the pride flag that President Biden saw fit to put in the middle of our American flag. Whatever the professed intentions of some individuals who fly it, the public meaning of the pride flag, and in particular the public meaning of flying a pride flag at the centers of government power, is not a demand for tolerance. Rather, it is a demand that we worship new gods and new rulers. The flag is a fundamentally political symbol. The left understands this, which is why they push for the pride flag's ubiquity. Conservatives, for the most part, do not understand this. Political radicalism is baked into the origins of the pride flag. Gilbert Baker designed the original flag at the behest of his friend, gay activist Harvey Milk, whose abuse of underage boys, corruption, and deep involvement with the mass murderer Jim Jones have been sanitized in our popular culture. Baker himself was a member of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, a radical activist group that dresses as nuns and uses religious imagery and language to satirize gender roles and mock traditional morality. Now, hopefully, if you've been paying any attention at all to the news, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence were invited to the LA Dodgers Pride Night. Well, fortunately, they got a lot of backlash for that stunt, and the game was boycotted. The stadium was virtually empty while the fans protested outside the game. So many in America are standing against this, but many are not. Jeremy Carl, the author of this piece, ends his article by saying, "The pride flag and the corrupt and immoral regime it symbolizes will ultimately fall. It cannot withstand faith, and it cannot withstand truth. America, tear down this flag. I pray that this is true. I pray that all is not lost for our flag and for America. In Proverbs 16:18 we read, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Disgrace is before ruin, and pride of spirit before misfortune." I discovered some really positive news this week. This article in the Patriot Journal titled, "New Pride Month Announced by GOP Leader, July Will Be a Month to Celebrate One Thing." This article is a bit lengthy, but its content is too important to not share it in its entirety. United we stand is an ideal that should be celebrated across the country. Not divided we fall, thanks to the collection of diversity months that push people farther away from their fellow citizens. Being proud of who we are should be an event for all Americans. We are thankful that one patriotic politician is challenging everyone to unite in a monthly celebration that is inclusive as intended by the people who built this country. Texas Republican Congressman Wesley Hunt has had enough of the Biden White House woke corporations and the media celebrating Pride for an entire month. He is introducing a House resolution on Friday to return pride in America back to all people. According to the resolution's text previewed by Breitbart News, July will be dedicated to celebrate, memorialize, and increase awareness of the monumental achievements of the United States of America and the countless number of patriots throughout her history which have made this nation the last best hope of earth. American Pride Month couldn't come at a better time. The people need an opportunity to openly reflect upon constitutional values and provide a better option than all the attacks against the American way of life. Rainbow activists have celebrated Pride in June by parading naked through the streets of the U.S. cities and openly attempting to hijack long-standing American values. They have brazenly let the world know that we are coming for your children. Hunt plans to provide people an opportunity to openly celebrate what has made America strong. He put together a promotional video and plans to use social media as a launch platform to rally the nation. In his video, he calls for people to do a better job of getting across that America is freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise, and freedom is special and rare. It's fragile. It also urges teaching history based not on what's in fashion, but what's important. Hunt is a U.S. military veteran and the great-great-grandson of a slave. He doesn't believe it's fashionable to subject citizens, much less children, to the divisive actions of rainbow activists. American Pride Month will highlight the importance of educating American youth and providing them an identity that makes them proud. In the words of President Ronald Reagan, if we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. In Reagan's final address to the nation, he warns us what would happen if we ceased teaching future generations about our history and, most importantly, what it means to be an American. We agree with Hunt that American exceptionalism means something to people, and this should be preserved and promoted for future generations. Let the tradition and celebration of American Pride Month kick off next week as we celebrate our nation's independence and unity of its citizens. Now, this article prompted me to research who Wesley Hunt is. I think it's important that we all know who is representing us in Congress, who is representing us in the Senate. And remember, they can be primaried, they can be voted out, but we have to be active. Well, this man is a veteran serving as the U.S. Representative for Texas, 38th Congressional District, since 2023, and a member of the Republican Party. He was just elected and is already making a difference and taking a stand for truth and righteousness and fighting for freedom. We need a whole lot more Wesley Hunts if we're to save America. But what a great idea. Following Pride Month, the month of July will now be dedicated to American pride. Pride in the America that our forefathers and our military fought so vehemently for our independence and our freedom. So on the 4th of July, Celebrate, yes, but understand what you're celebrating. It's not just about the food and the fireworks. We are celebrating America's birthday. We're celebrating America's independence, and we are celebrating freedom. Read the Declaration of Independence with your family. Read it and understand it. How many don't know what the Declaration of Independence says? Study the Constitution. PragerU offers videos about the Constitution. Rick Green offers biblical civics and biblical citizenship classes through Patriot Academy, which our very own Martha Williams from Patriot Church teaches these classes at Patriot Church. Fly your flag, the red, white, and blue flag, the American flag, not the rainbow flag. The rainbow belongs in the sky, not on a pole. I want to leave you today with the lyrics from a famous song, one of my favorites. I can't help but get goosebumps and tear up every time I hear this song. Proud to be an American, written by a true patriot, Lee Greenwood. If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to my home, the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart. And it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Such simple lyrics with such a strong message, but sadly they are trying to take our freedom away from us. Our freedom to raise our children as we see fit, as godly kids. The freedom to take care of our own bodies, what we put in it, what we put over it. The freedom to worship the one true God. That's the most important freedom that they're trying to take from us. Our freedom to worship our Heavenly Father, our God, that gave us life, gave us liberty. If we don't stand now, we might lose America. I think some of you might remember that Patriot Church just did a conference a few weeks ago, and it was called Stand. Well, if we don't stand for freedom now, then it will all be lost. The gospel, the truth of the gospel will be lost, and that's the most important thing. So, as the conference theme was stand, having done all, stand. Thank you for joining me today. I welcome you to tune in each and every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are called to stay busy and occupy until he comes. I'm here to inform, encourage, and ignite, all in the spirit of faith. I'm Janet Palumbi. See you next time on Patriot TV, and happy 4th of July.